Hey guys, Jayon King here. Like I said before, we've got a lot of work to do. So I'll be making more videos. So I'll just hurry up and try to make as many as I can. Without further ado, let's just get right into chapter 7, which is about stress. You guys have been pretty stressed lately, I can tell. Brain B, AP tests, whatever. But in the context of what we're trying to achieve, it's clear that we need to define what stress means on a biological level. So, on a biological level, stress is just any stimulus that threatens your body's homeostasis. Now, homeostasis, as you guys can recall from just basic biology, is when your body's equilibrium. So homeostasis is your body's equilibrium, your body's normal state. So anything that threatens that is stress, and stress can be physical or psychological. Your body could be physically out of balance for some reason. That would be a physical stress. Your body, however, can also think that something is wrong. That's a psychological stress. The point is, stress threatens homeostasis. So that's the basic definition of stress. But now we need to actually talk about the chemical level of it, right? So when we do that, it's critical that we begin with the concept of a glucocorticoid. Now, a glucocorticoid is a stress hormone. It's specifically a type of steroid hormone. As you guys remember from chapter 1, a steroid hormone is defined as being based on the chemical cholesterol. So glucocorticoids are an example of a steroid hormone. And when glucocorticoids are released in times of stress, they actually have a lot of actions in the body. They can mobilize energy when you need it. They can increase your cardiovascular tone. They can delay processes in your body that aren't important in the moment of stress itself. Feeding, digestion, growth, and reproduction being some of them. The point is, glucocorticoids have a lot of actions during stress, and they're very important. So the one glucocorticoid that I really want you guys to know is cortisol. Cortisol promotes energy replenishment and efficient cardiovascular function. As the book described, most notably, cortisol levels peak in the early morning just when you get up, and it gives your body signals, get up, eat, start moving, right? And cortisol actually explains a lot of what happens in jet lag, right? When your body's clock is improperly set due to traveling to different places and having different Dart cycles, your cortisol levels go whack, like they're not released at the right moments of the day. As a result, you become hungry, sleepy, and awake at the wrong times of the day. So cortisol has that kind of effect. It's like a alarm clock for your body. You can think of it that way. So although they're not glucocorticoids, the other important chemicals that you should know in stress are epinephrine and norepinephrine. So epinephrine and norepinephrine are released by the adrenal medulla. They are not the same as glucocorticoids. Glucocorticoids are released by the adrenal cortex. So all these chemicals come from the adrenal glands. So all these chemicals come from the adrenal glands, and the adrenal glands are located right on top of the kidneys. However, glucocorticoids and epinephrine and norepinephrine are not the same. Glucocorticoids are released by the adrenal cortex. Epinephrine and norepinephrine are released by the adrenal medulla. So don't get confused when somebody asks you, is epinephrine a glucocorticoid? No, it's not. Epinephrine, I'm sure you guys know from basic biology, epinephrine has the role of mobilizing energy in times of stress. You need blood sugar to get into your blood quickly. You need energy. That's when your epinephrine has an effect. So now that we've talked about a bit of the chemical side of stress, now let's look at what happens when these chemicals go too far. What happens when too much of these chemicals are in effect? So overexposure to glucocorticoids is actually pretty bad for your body. Obviously, you can just tell just because you know that chronic stress is really bad for your body. In the short moments that you need it, having glucocorticoids is great. You have to mobilize your body, right? But if it's too much for too long, that's pretty bad. Overexposure to glucocorticoids, among many other things, leads to weakened muscles, gives you high blood pressure, hardens your arteries, abdominal obesity, like, yeah, so these are just some of the things that can happen. Also, scientists have done animal studies and they found that rats, when they've been exposed to glucocorticoids for too much, they've actually seen a lot of impaired neuronal function in the hippocampus. Remember, that's an area of the brain important for converting short-term memory to long-term memory. So, and also they found that being exposed to glucocorticoids too much actually increases the number of neurons damaged by strokes. So the point is, glucocorticoids are really, really bad for your body if you're exposed to them for too long, or if you're exposed to too much of it. So I guess it's a lesson. If there's a takeaway from this, guys, don't stress out too much. Yeah, so for the brain beat, try to just relax a bit, try to enjoy the process. So that being said, however, when you have too many, sometimes you do need glucocorticoids a lot for a specific purpose. So another thing that glucocorticoids can do is suppress the immune system in really, really high amounts. When you have a short-term elevation of stress hormones, it can actually help your immune function, because your body needs to be able to work well, right? That counts being able to fight disease as well. However, if your body's like overexposed to glucocorticoids, it'll actually weaken your immune system. It explains why you get colds a lot in times of stress. When you haven't slept a lot because of a test or whatever. But sometimes modern medicine will actually rely on this phenomenon. You guys have seen hydrocortisone and prednisone, inside of like the medicine section at like Fry's or whatever, right? Hydrocortisone and prednisone are actually man-made glucocorticoids, and when you expose your skin to hydrocortisone and prednisone, when you apply those medicines topically, those man-made glucocorticoids will actually have those man-made medicines will actually be overexposing that area to glucocorticoids, and when that happens, it'll keep the immune system there in check. So why is this so important? Well, inflammation is when your immune system is hyperactive. When you want glucocorticoids to tame the immune system when you're inflamed in a certain area, right? So that the inflammation will die down. So too many glucocorticoids will limit the immune system, and you need that sometimes when your immune system is working too much and an area is becoming inflamed. So that's just the practical application of just some of the knowledge that we have about stress. So the last thing I want to leave you guys with about stress is about some of the body parts, the nervous system parts involved in an immediate response to some kind of stressful situation. So let's have a picture here. Let's say that you're I don't know, on a beach and like you're about to be attacked by a shark, right? So when you're responding to that, there's actually a lot of things going on at once inside your body. There are three main systems that are responding. The first system being your voluntary nervous system. You have to mobilize your muscles, your arms and your legs. You got to swim away from the area as fast as you can. The second part would be the autonomic nervous system. So again, the autonomic nervous system is made of sympathetic and parasympathetic nervous systems. The parasympathetic nervous system relaxes your body in times when you don't need to stress. So that wouldn't be that active and at a moment when you're actually running away from a threat. But the sympathetic nervous system, it mobilizes your body's energy resources in times of need, right? It prepares your body for fight or flight. So in the sympathetic nervous system, in that moment when you're running away, when you're swimming away from the shark, the sympathetic nervous system will actually have an effect. It'll have your blood vessels supply more blood. It's going to mobilize more energy. It's going to trigger adrenaline or epinephrine release, and it'll have it, and that'll mobilize your body's sugar deposits, right? The point is, the autonomic nervous system has a role in this as well. It prepares your body. The third part I want to mention is the neuroendocrine system. The neuroendocrine system is just a part of your body that regulates the hormones themselves. So the epinephrine, the norepinephrine, the glucocorticoids. So hopefully that gives you guys a basic covering of stress as defined in the book. if you guys want me to go into detail about more stuff from this chapter, feel free to leave stuff in the comments. Thanks, guys. See you in chapter 8.